You're not a real YouTuber until you have posted all of your emotional baggage on the internet as entertainment for the masses. So sit back, watch and enjoy as I become a fully fledged YouTuber. I'm kidding. Kind of. I think like most people, I could probably bore you absolutely silly with times where shit hit the fan, everything went completely tits up, and life was, well, an absolute hoo-ha. But instead, I'm going to give you something much more productive and helpful because it's coming to that time of year when you cozy up with a blanket and a cup of tea, we walk through piles of beautifully colored leaves. In fact, it won't even be that long until we watch out of our window as gentle little snowflakes fall. Or, of course, the more likely reality, it's fucking freezing when you get out of bed, the road becomes an ice rink full of absolute morons, and everywhere you walk, no matter how big your umbrella is, you're going to get wet. Because apparently the wind and rain like to team up this time of year like some kind of city council arsehole planning nothing but yellow lines and a parking ticket company. So today instead I offer you my very own tried and tested motivational journal for when this special season gets a little tedious. Allow me to introduce you to the book where I rant about how everyone's an absolute bloody moron, realise I vented a little bit too much and thus spent far too much of my life on it. I probably shouldn't care that much, instead I should care on my own goals. Then I feel better because I've actually sat down and wrote about it and realised that, and thus I have the motivation to pretend like I give a shit about Sandra's new haircut at work. So you can see why I just called it the motivational journal, right? It's actually an incredibly simple concept. There are 4 main parts: inspire me, gratitudes, goals, and a weekly spread. That's it. Inspire me. That's just quotes from people around me, famous people, Taoist quotes, maybe even things that I've realized and I just want to remember. They're things that keep me inspired to keep going throughout the week. The next section is gratitudes, keeps me humble, keeps me happy. It varies from week to week. Some weeks, if I've had a particularly funny conversation with my mum, I might put that down. Or maybe even something as simple as just having a quiet weekend coming up so that I can sit and play games and take some time for myself. But it's usually smaller things like being grateful for having organized something or actually having food in the house. Goals are always weekly for me. They can be the same as last week, and in fact I actually suggest that you keep the same goals for several weeks to make them a habit. A new habit can actually apparently take anywhere from 18 to 254 days to form, with the average person taking 66 days to form a habit. Whew, or around 9.5 weeks. Generally, I personally aim for a professional goal, a personal goal, and a health goal, which is really not that hard for me because I suck at every aspect of life. So things like learn something new for my career, search for new jobs, get in earlier, not so much overtime, those kinds of things will be in my professional goals. My personal goals pretty much always consist of washing or cleaning, emptying the dishwasher within 12 hours of it being done and not using it like an extra cupboard. My health is always cut back takeaways, sleep more, or exercise more. I'll own it. I'm shit at all of those things. The weekly spread, the main event, the big deal. It's not difficult at all. I love the way that I've done it because what I do is I rip part of the page out of my book so that I end up with a spread that starts with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, goes on to Friday, Saturday, Sunday with a check-in, and I have this smaller page that I can see across my inspire and my goals throughout the whole week. The content of a daily entry is short. That is the key for me that I have found, that short, about 1 paragraph of text. It needs to be concise so that I don't find myself getting too sucked into whatever problem or whatever is going on. I know that I only have a small paragraph to write in, so I have to really summarize what the problem is, and usually I find that helps me get through the problem, because instead of ranting on about having a whole page worth of this argument happened with whatever and this happened and they said this and I said that and I didn't think it was fair because of this, I end up just putting things like I had an argument and this made me feel like this, and being so concise kind of helps me put it down and leave it there, to be honest, rather than just dwelling on it. So I really recommend you do keep it concise. So aside from the actual size of how much text you write, I will include things such as how I slept, what kind of mood I woke up in the morning, if I'm worried, stressed, concerned with something specific, definitely health concerns. When you do get an issue or when you are stressed out, it's really easy to see how having more workload and more stress will start to impact your health with headaches and all sorts of things. So it's much, much easier for you to get a handle on solving things. But then I also try and write down things that I'm happy with, things that are going well for me, especially if it's something that I know has been an issue for me in previous weeks and I've put it in my weekly summary as an issue. Then if I'm happy with it or something's going well for me, I must write that down as well, because otherwise it just becomes a place where you try to complain all the time and you try to find things that are bad, whereas you should try and keep it as more of a balance, because that's going to be the most effective for you. When things are good, take note, and when things are shitty, take note. Okay, so I've mentioned the check-in. Every once a week, usually on a Sunday night or a Monday morning, usually on Monday morning, I will go through and I will read every section of the previous week, and I will do a week summary. It has to be completely objective and just taking down what you wrote at the time. Don't try and remember it differently. If you were really pissed off one day and you wrote how fucked off you were, don't be like, oh, I was kind of overreacting that day. Put that in your summary as exactly what it was. Like, you were really feeling angry. Don't try to change any of the entries from what they actually were on that day. Just try to pick up on anything that's consistent. If you're seeing consistent health issues with, say, maybe you're not sleeping well, you're getting headaches all the time, then put something in. This is where I generally, it's an overview. It's an overview of the whole week, but this is where I then pick up for my goals. So this works for me. I really, really hope it works for you. I hope that, you know, wherever you're going, whatever you're struggling with, it gives you some kind of peace of mind. Obviously, I understand that it's not like a replacement for some kind of, you know, therapy or something like that, but it's definitely helped me as someone who's had therapy in my life, as someone who's been on antidepressants. I would say, honestly, personally, this has helped me so much more than any of it. I would stand by this, but that is me and I can only speak for myself, so yeah. Good luck. I hope it helps. Please do let me know. Comment down below if you try it. Tweet at me, whatever. Thank you so much and I will see you next time. Bye!